Alright, I'm back. It is a Sunday once again. It's been a long weekend for me, it really has. And by that I mean it's the same length as it's always been, it just feels way longer. Also, hello. So yeah, quickly, for those who are watching in the future, this is about to make no sense. But for those who are watching in the moment, you'll at least kind of get this. So I was originally planning to do a Cool Craft stream on Friday. Then it wasn't until I tried to go log onto the server about an hour before the stream started, and I couldn't. Because the server wasn't up. Because the server was having all sorts of problems. You see, we may have done a not necessarily smart thing by making our server, or making the Minecraft servers run in the graphical context of our server for some reason, instead of in a headless context. Which means the graphical desktop actually has to exist in order for the Minecraft server to be running, and it just so happened that a graphics driver update or general update or something broke the desktop, and it wasn't showing up. The server was online. I could otherwise connect to it via anything else that was running, but the actual Minecraft servers itself were not running, which is a problem. And this happened because apparently there was a power outage on Wednesday or something like that. I don't know. I wasn't around. That's just when the logs tell me the restart happened. And it never probably came back up. And the thing is, I haven't actually played on Coolcraft at all this week. I was working on the video that I just uploaded on my second channel a couple hours ago. So when it came to Friday, I was going to stream. I was like, I haven't been playing this in a while. Let's go do the thing. It didn't work at all. And so I was like, oh well, okay. If we just fix this today, I'll stream tomorrow, and then it'll be fine. But we wasn't fixed tomorrow. We basically spent all of Saturday trying to fix it, and we didn't fix it until, today, fully. So, yeah, that was fun. Anyhow, now more relevant to the content that we're actually doing is Minecraft Live, which happened yesterday, and we were trying to fix the whole thing during Minecraft Live. So that's fun. It was kind of a snooze fest, though. Really, the Minecraft Lives have gone way, way downhill since whenever the last good one was. I'll say 2019. They've gone way downhill since 2019. Because in 2019's Minecraft Live, you had, it was all about, they revealed the Nether update at that point, but it was all about the 1.15, which was, I think, Buzzy Bees, I think that's what it was called. And they had a bunch of bee and honey related, mini games and activities for people to do in person at the Minecraft Live. It was great. We don't got anything like that anymore. The show is quite frankly boring and short. It was like, oh, here's a little bit of copper stuff, and they got the next update. They announced that it was the who cares what it's named? It doesn't really matter. They've added the Nautilus, the Nautilus mob, which if that thing does not drop Nautilus shells, that is a crime, an actual crime, Mojang. You do understand that, right? Besides that, nothing is really too interesting in this update. In a logical sphere, you can't hold up a sphere, you can carry 70 billion tons of gold on your person, no problem. And also a shovel, you can hold a shovel, no problem. That's exactly the same recipe. But yeah, boring, don't care. And they really didn't announce anything else at Minecraft Live. They did in the community pre-show advertise a new freaking Bug Rock Marketplace paid crap fest in the goddamn pre-show, which I feel like the pre-show was longer than the actual show as well. So, yeah. That was good. Anyhow, the most interesting thing they probably announced at Minecraft Live was that Minecraft 1.21.9 will be releasing on Tuesday, which brings us into what we're actually doing in the stream, which is continuing work on the Minecraft server management protocol thing that I have been working on here. Which, of course, it decides to open on my other monitor. This. You connect to it, and it does this. Now, actually, interesting development did happen mid last week. In pre-release 4, they finally fixed the bug that I reported 3 weeks ago. Which was to do with the player kick command. Oh, also, after the stream last weekend, I did just kind of continue working on this and finish this user interface. It looks almost exactly like what we had in the web browser. but it's on this program stuff, and it actually works as well. I can send a command, and the kick command works now with how it's described. So I can just, I'm not actually on the server, but I can send a kick command, and you'll see it doesn't give me an error down here. What a fucking concept, guys. What a fucking concept. Now, to show that this has been changed, here is the git diff for the discovery file. And as you can see, the only thing that has changed since I initially committed this file here is the kick player schema here. In red here is what was there originally, and in green is what is there now. So it used to take an array of players as well as the message, and now it just takes a single player as well as the message. So big improvement. They kind of just went back and did it. For some reason, it took them to pre-release 4 to fix it, and it was one of like 4 different bug fixes that happened in pre-release 4 as well. And I swear Slice Lime didn't mention this one at all when he was going through all those bug fixes in his update video, but I'm not a little bit peeved about that at all. And so, yeah, what are we doing today? We're working on the finishing touches, making this a little bit more pleasant to use. Scroll bar on the side here is one of the things, because how far down are we scrolled? I can't use the mouse to scroll, because if you're on a touchpad, it's not a good experience, I'll tell you that. Also, what happened when I did stuff? Where's the result? What are notifications? Where are those going to be displayed? In fact, I think notifications are probably... I think notifications are what we should do first. So, let's close this and create a new notification class. Yes. So, new tab, notification.java. Alright. This is going to contain a string notification text, and going to contain an int arrival time. It's going to be equal to 0 by default. I'll make this public. Then we're going to need to import processing.data.star, so we can create the constructor for this thing. Public notification takes in a JSON object. Just gonna call that data because I actually forget what. Here, let me reconnect this thing to the server and then trigger a notification so I can see what kind of comes through for that. Connect this, run save all, which comes through with these notifications here, and then we can close this. Don't need to leave that up and connected right now. So yeah, so we got to specify the whole thing because it just specifies a method. Theoretically, there are events like a player being banned that will have other things, and we will go through and make sure to parse those out properly later. So here, string method equals data.get string method, and then for now we'll just set the notification text to the method, but we will do actual stuff with this method to determine what to actually set the text to later. But for now I just want to get things a little bit going up. So and there's also going to be int arrival time. This arrival time equals arrival time. I spelled something wrong there, and I'm not too fucking. I'm not going to give a fuck about what it was that I spelled wrong there. just copy and paste stuff. I'm gonna have a void draw, which is number. This is basically so that we can basically this is going to be the I value from the for loop that these are going to be drawn in. That way, you know, if multiple notifications come in at once, they stack up vertically. That way we can display multiple at once. So draw, we shouldn't need to interact with these basically at all. Boolean to old current time, and basically if current time minus arrival time is greater than like 25 seconds, let's say, then return true, else return false. Perfect. All right. And then in terms of drawing, not entirely sure. Oh, hang on. We kind of need a. Dang it. Okay. I'm gonna need to also import PROC processing.core.star. Gonna get a render, so we're gonna do render.fill 0. We're gonna rectangle. Or actually, hold up. Render dot text size. Let's say 20. This can obviously be adjusted, and then text ling equals render dot text width of notification text. Oh, it's a float. Never mind. Float. So, and then we're going to render the rectangle. We're going to take. This is not very scalable right now. I don't really care about making it scalable at this moment in time, to be fair. So 1280 is to be fair. So 1280 minus the length of text minus like 30 extra. We'll go 720 minus, and then this is where stuff gets interesting. So 20 for the text size. We'll say 25 times notification number minus like 5. Minus like an additional 5 there. Actually, let's go 30. And we'll make the actual like. So that's the starting Y. Then for the length, we go text width plus 15, I guess. Or, no, 20. Text width plus 20. Then the height, we also do 25. So that's the rectangle the text will be rendering. So render.fill 255. Render.text line left, comma, top. Render.text. Oh, right. I'll define those in a minute. So, the text is the notification text. The two floats that we need to supply are the X, which should be 1280 minus 20, we'll say. I don't know if that is correct. And then the Y is basically this. It's just 2.5 maybe? Wait. Let's just say not that. Alright. So now PCONSTAN. Okay, it did recognize that immediately. So we Alright. So this is theoretically all we need for the notification to be. Do kind of have worries about the array size changing and parallelism. We'll figure that out later, because there are going to be multiple threads in action here. So array list of notification and notifications are equals new array. Okay, so first things first, we'll draw this quite simply. Where's draw? Draw right under the send button here, I guess. Actually, we don't even need that to be true. What is this one? Okay, yeah, so right under the send button here, we're gonna go for int I equals 0, I is less than notifications.size I plus. So notifications.get I.draw I. Oh, I comma G. That makes a lot of sense there. If you don't know, in processing, the variable G in your main sketch is the graphics object that you're actually drawing to. So in the main sketch, when you call a function like rect, for instance, what that just does is under the hood, the actual what the applet class does is that function just calls g.rect, basically. So passing this object is better for if you just want to pass the ability to draw something. This is effectively your canvas. G obviously standing for graphics. All right, now we're actually going to make notifications come in. So where is the function that we handle process response? Data. So ID to be -1. Okay, so we'll eventually just go do that, but okay, so if ID is equal to -1, string method equals data get. Well, actually, hold up. ID is -1, and data. This is going to be not is null. So if method is not null, then we can string equals data. Actually, we don't even technically need that because we know there's a method in there. So we'll say notifications.add new notification with data comma millis, which is the current number of milliseconds since the sketch has started. That's what we're going to use for time-based things. And that should theoretically be the base of the system. I know I don't have them disappearing yet, but that comes later. Ooh. I did just thought this does actually depend on the camera. So while I'm up here, let me save the server quickly to trigger notification. clearly that didn't work too well now, did it? But I can scroll down. I actually don't know why it's not rendering any text. It should be rendered in white. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing any text. Hang on. They are different lengths, which is telling me something about this. But yeah, I realized I want to make it so that they are not reliant on the camera position and kind of just float on screen. So okay. So once again, there's my save all. They're not rendering anything. Oh. Wait. Should be 720, not regular 20. Okay. That's why the text wasn't rendering. I'll need to get rid of that PPP there. Okay, it's also aligned in the incorrect way. Right. It should be right, not left. Connect. Save the server. There we go. I can scroll down right now to show that they have saved, but I obviously don't want that to be what ends up happening. I also might want to stylize these a little bit better. I mean, I think just them being in rectangles is probably a bit fun. It was probably fine. Maybe the color should change a bit, but that's something we can get to. For now, why did that second one go down? It's supposed to go up. Or no, wait, it just starts too low. So what about 30? So minus 35. And minus 30 here. Oh, no, that's not right. Alright, so actually, right now, if I save it again, yeah, they do appear above. Alright, let's try this again. And then we can make it so the camera doesn't matter, which I know how I'm going to do that. That's actually pretty easy. Save the server. There we go. Alright. Notifications come in like that. And now to decouple them from the oh, yeah, okay. Decouple those from the camera. These are going to be definitively the last things drawn. All right. Okay, save. Yeah, now scrolling doesn't matter. They're always just kind of there on screen. But they shouldn't always be there on screen. They should only be there when we want them to be there. Which means that now, once we draw them, we're going to go through them again. If dot too old if that's too old, then we go to notifications dot remove I minus minus. All right, so now we send some notifications and then waiting, I believe that is 25 seconds. They should just pop off. Obviously there's no like animations for them coming in or going. Perhaps 25 seconds is too long. Or I did that as like 200. There they go. Okay. Those are there for a decent amount of time. Oh. Hello. What happens now? Okay, that's figured. Yeah, I have not designed this to be resized at all. Now if I spam save the game here, you can see a bunch of them show up like that. And then they'll all disappear in sequence from the bottom up as things happen. So now I need to actually parse what they are saying, because this may come as a shock to you. But we don't just want to see this namespace. We want to see useful information. And thankfully, the discovery does actually provide us. Oh, dang it! File Explorer. Notepad was over the actual stuff. But anyway, this does actually provide us with schema data for the notifications. There we go. And usually it just provides us with a description here, which we can use. So specifically, we're going to go into notification here, and we're going to switch the method, and then so we'll say case. What's the first notification? Okay, I think this, yeah, server started is the first one. So basically what we're going to take is for a lot of these, we're just going to take that being the case, we set notification text equal to whatever it is that the description was. Now this isn't always the case, which is why this is being hard-coded, and obviously this won't necessarily work in the future. But for a good chunk of these, this will work, because there are some of these things that obviously have parameters that we'll need to sniff out here. So our next one is server stopping. Here, let me just copy paste this. Server shutting down. That is what this one is supposed to say. Obviously recognizes two cases of the same thing. Server saving. Server saving. Server save started. Nice of them to actually provide these descriptions, I will say, because otherwise, oh, wait. I'm just gonna paste this in here a bunch of times because there are a fair few notifications. All right, so the next one is saved. Wait, these might need to be prefixed with Minecraft dash. That is completely fine if it is the case. That's not too hard to do. But it will be a bit of a thing. What? Oh. Okay, then this is where things get a little bit strange here. So our players joined. The description is player joined or player joined. But there is here, I'll actually show you this. But there is additional data here, that being a player schema. So I believe this is kind of just provided like an array. So we'll have to do some parsing here to get the first element by that of name player. Actually, here, you know, I will actually see what this looks like here. So actually, I will just comment out most of that, and it's still going to just override this method anyway. Anyhow, so we'll get this. we'll open up the latest snapshot of Minecraft. We'll go on my alt account, why not? Make it a little bit spicier. Release candidate 1. Now we wait for this to launch. And I guess download, because I guess I'd have to download RCL1. I don't believe I've done, yeah, 30 megabytes. The highest grossing game of all time. And it's only 30 megabytes in size. Unimaginable size for a game in the 90s, but today that's actually very, very, very tiny. Release candidate 1. Alright. This should be it. Yep. Quick. Yeah, okay, Minecraft notification, Minecraft player / join. Oh, and I don't have it printing out the whole thing here. Okay, for first of all, okay, so all of these have to be prefixed with Minecraft. That's kind of annoying. Minecraft : that's a little bit annoying. Especially considering that's not what it says in the discovery. Another thing is I didn't actually print it out, so here. Let's just print that. We'll go back to you, close you properly, that way we don't get a big ugly stack trace in the server console, because that, but by the way, if you do just like haphazardly close the process without properly actually closing the WebSocket, it will give you a very big and ugly error in the server console. Alright, so that's what a player leaving looks like, and a player joining looks like that. And well, actually, we're gonna keep that there. We're just gonna uncomment all of this stuff and say, okay, so params is a JSON array. God, this is stupid. Okay. So player joined. Params equals data dot get JSON array named params JSON object player equals params dot get JSON object 0. Yes, it is the same for both of these. And then we're gonna get, so we're gonna say player dot get string name join the game, not fame, game. And actually, looking at the server console, okay, it is lowercase. Okay, so player name joined the game. That's what player / join is going to give us. Players / left is very much the same thing, except for it's going to be left the game. What? No? That is... No, that's like not a duplicate local variable. I hit a break. That variable doesn't exist anymore. So, just because this is being dumb, we'll have to put that inside of, we'll have to put each of these inside of a stupid if expression. And when I say stupid, I mean stupid. Oh, forgot to do that. Okay. So then this is going to just say left the game on player left. The only reason for this if statement is to create an additional scope for these variables to be in, which is not the same scope as apparently a different case statement. So stupid. To be fair, I could actually define these things up here, but I'm not going to do that. Okay. Our next one is operators add. So the description for this one is player was opt. And I think schema for this is exactly the, oh wait, it's an operator schema. Well, actually, there's a simple way to do it. Fuck, no, there's not. Oh, comment out these two, and there's a simple way to do it. We simply go run this, connect it, cause that event to happen, and oop, spell my account name correctly, and there we go. Operators added, yep. All right, so we're gonna undo that. So this is what we're gonna have here. So we're gonna start with the same kind of interior here. So it's not gonna be player anymore, it's gonna be operator. Because operator is what we're gonna have, because this has a permission level, bypass player limit, and also the player. So we're gonna have another JSON object, player equals operator.get or get string name. Or get JSON object player. So now we can formulate this. So instead of starting it with their name, we're going to say opt player at level plus operator.get int permission level so we opt player at a specific level with at level that, and so how do I want to phrase this? Because this should be can bypass and can bypass and can bypass or can't bypass. So and plus woo. It's just true question mark string colon string by bypass player limit and can't. Wow, that is OPPPRATOR dot get BOOL Boolean. Alright, that one's going to be a little bit long, especially depending on the name, but that doesn't really matter too much. So, operator get... So, opt player at level that, and can or can't bypass the player limit. That one was a little bit complex. The next one is simpler. I think is operator removed. Obviously, the description for this is player was deopt. And this one just Oh, this one also takes an operator schema. But I'm not going to do that full song and dance that I did for this one. I'm going to copy it. Because we don't need to know what level they were. Basically. Okay, deopt player. That's all we need for this one. Because it no longer matters what level they were at. Yeah, components, scheme, operate. Okay. Next we have notification allow list add. So this just takes in a player, all right. And this is adding a player to the whitelist, to be clear. So we go up to this one. This is the closest current thing that we can use. So so player was added to the, oh look, the server just saved. The whitelist, because that's what it's actually called, Mojang. You should know this. Yeah, so that just has a player there. Alright, we got more to go. We got basically an identical thing for allow list removed was removed from the whitelist. Simple enough. Simple enough. Next thing we have is an IP ban. This is more similar to the operator case of specifically. Oh, this one is actually probably going to be a little bit more complex. So, and that's because there may or may not be a player associated with this. So I gotta look up the actually, you know what? Here, we'll just IP ban myself and see what comes up. So IP ban IRS. Oh, it's ban-IP. That's right, not IP ban. All right. Here we go. All right. So here's what we're looking at for a fully fledged thing. Okay. So it just contained. Oh right, because it didn't contain a message. Dang it. 127.0.0.1. Yeah. I think yeah. There's the thing. So at the minimum, we're gonna have IP ban. And we're not necessarily going to have a player here. Actually, we're not going to have a player. Obviously, the player was perfectly valid there, but that wasn't a thing. The source, that's going to be there. But there's also an optional ban message. So going to unban this, which will also add our thing there. So 127.0.0.1. Which has that there. And then I'm going to ban it again. Test. Oh, I got to actually reconnect to the server first before I can. Okay. Does it not actually give a message? Oh, it does have a reason. It doesn't show it to the player. It just says you've been IP banned, which is weird. Okay, so we're gonna have a string So yeah, okay. First things first. So IP plus IP band get string IP, or it's band IP, band, so band IP Okay. Band IP that, and then if, well, yeah, space. So then another conditional ternary. So if IP band dot is null, reason so if that is not null, then say for blah blah blah. Otherwise, just don't put anything. Except a space, I guess. And then another thing, by band them for this by, and then IP band get string source. Because I'm pretty sure source will always be there. It'll be server, management server. It'll be there something by default. But if there is a reason, then for plus dot get string reason, and then add a space at the end of that. Or I guess if there's always actually no, we don't need that. We can just not have a space here and then have a space here. Wait, no, we don't want a space there. We don't want a space there, but we do want a space there because there's a space before. All right, so this is going to be band IP that for a reason by whoever banned it. That's going to be the notification text for adding an IP band, and I have a hedging a bet. Yeah, the next one is removed IP ban. Wait. For some reason, hang on, where's our unbanned one here? Added, IP ban added, IP ban removed. It's just the string for the IP address. But the way it is listed in the documentation is it's listed as player, not IP. So anyhow, well, I guess we'll just copy paste this one down. IP ban removed. So get params, but then we don't need this. Just say unbanned IP plus params.getZero, and then that should be that. And now a generic ban. So let me unban myself again. So harden IP 127.0.0.1. That unbans me once again. So I can now join the server. Ooh, I'm back on the server, guys. Ooh, I'm on a server. And now I can ban my account the regular way. There's a test message in there. I find it kind of strange how the ban reason isn't showing up on these "you are banned from this server" screen. I thought they were supposed to. Anyhow, here's our ban added and ban removed. Actually, here, there's just our ban added. Let's unban myself. I could technically use the UI here to do this as well. I'm doing it in the server console now just because why not? But there's our ban removed, and then I'll join the server again and see if I just get banned with the generic server message. So just ban. So if I don't have a test message in there, so the original ban added here has a reason. The new one does not. Very interesting. All right. So we're gonna get another one of these. So, God, this stuff is getting a little bit complex here. Just the formatting of this text is getting complex. So, notification, regular bans added. We got the pran. It's just ban this time. And it's gonna look like this. Actually, is that that was the second one? Ban added. Okay. The ban is gonna have a reason, a source, and a player. So JSON object player equals ban dot get JSON object player. So this is just going to be banned player.getString name for, and then we're going to check if the ban has a reason, then put that. If not, just get the source. Oh, the server saved again. So yeah, bans added, source, we got the player, perfect. That should be good for bans added, and then bans removed just contains a player. So we'll go scroll up to one of these that was just a player. Yeah, that's one of the, like this one. So this is going to be UN banned player. Yeah, it just, the schema there just contains a player. So, you know, unbanned player, or unbanned, quickly. Player was removed from the ban list is the description for that, which is a little bit cumbersome way of saying we've unbanned someone, basically. Next one is more interesting. We have game rules updated. So, KEP. Let's try this again. KEPINVENTORY. Huh. It's not letting me update the game rule on the command line. Am I still banned from the server? Yes. Oh, and now it shows the reason. You were banned by an operator. So, pardon. Actually, here, let's use the GUI thing here, because this does work. I'll show you this does work. So, regular ban remove. We'll scroll down here, find my name, click send, ban removed. Okay. There's a log in the console about that happening. All right, and now I am here. And am I an operator on the server? I am. So I will say game rule, not game mode, game rule. Go keep inventory so that true. I don't know why this wasn't working in the server console, but there we go. We got, this is what it looks like. So we have the params, a value type, which I believe is technically an enumerator that can cycle between Boolean or integer. The actual value, which is represented as a string. And then the actual name of the thing. If I go update something like, I set that. Yeah, we got integer. Okay, it doesn't matter what the type is, because it's always just going to be a string with what the value is. Okay, so I will just copy paste this, because, you know, we need something to base this stuff off of here. So you'll get game rule updated. This should be the only game rule related one. But instead of play, this is game rule. So updated game rule plus game rule that gets string key for some reason. Upgraded game rule that 2 plus dot get string value, because for some reason it is still packaged like that. All right, so updated game rule to keep inventory to true or random tick speed to 3, yada yada yada. There are a lot of these notifications, and I think the way I'm probably just going to do this is I'm going to, maybe for the actual method, I'm just going to strip the Minecraft colon from the beginning of it just to make it work. Because I know they added that Minecraft colon to the notification at some point during the snapshot cycle, and I mean, it's okay, but I don't care, quite frankly. What's the next one? Server status. This is a server status heartbeat. I have no idea what this constitutes, but I will copy this for now, because there is a schema associated with this. So I'll paste that there. Oh, no, wait. Whoops. While I go look up what this schema is. So, Control-F, find server state. Properties. It contains an array of players. Interesting. Whether or not it's started, and the current version of the server, which for some reason has its own object. Interesting. So I'm gonna just name this state. So we're just gonna have the number of players. We're not gonna list them. So int num players equals state dot get JSON array named, I think it's just players. Yep. Dot size. There's a started Boolean, interesting, and a version. So, and the version is a whole other schema for some reason. All right, which just has a protocol version and a name. The name is probably what we want, considering that is, you know, the actual game version. And this is how you get the server version. So we say version is equal to state.get JSON object version dot get string name. Okay, so this is going to be server status colon oh, it's right there. I'm kind of blind, aren't I? All right. Server status. So, and then we're gonna have state get boolean started. Started with, and then this is going to be blank, so players online or not start not started, and there obviously won't be any players online if it's not started. So started with that many players online or not started. Oh, because somehow it is possible to not be started. So started or not started, server status, started or not started with that many players online. URL version plus version. That is when a status comes through. And now I need to search this doc for that again. Alright. Oh, was that the last one? Because this is also supposedly the server heartbeat status. So I don't know if this notification will continuously come through if you have the heartbeat enabled. I've never actually tried that. But yeah, it goes down to components after this. So yeah, I think that's the last notification type. So let's strip that Minecraft colon off of it. So method equals method dot substring or it's not camel case like that for some reason. Alright, so now if we close this, any state or any notifications that come through should be properly displayed. So if I trigger save over here, oh crap, I did something wrong. I have not been putting in breaks. That is very wrong. That could cause so many problems. Okay, so break all those things. Then default, in the default situation, notification text is equal to that. Not always. Alright, so now, why did that not help? Notification slash server slash saving. Notification server saved. Wait, why is it a slash there? The fuck? The discovery is wrong. It does notification colon. But it actually comes through as notification slash. Okay. Because the colon was moved to Minecraft, so, guess that is technically a bug, I guess, with the thing. And this should be the currently distributed Discovery that I'm looking at. It's not like I'm looking at an older version of Discovery. This is the modern Discovery, or this is the current version of Discovery that is available, or that the game is regurgitating at me. I don't want to go into the game, so I want to do this. Alright. Close and restart. Close and restart. Close and restart. Alright. So now I save the game. Started and then completed. Good. They stack up on top of each other. If game rule do save daylight cycle false. Updated game rule do daylight cycle to false. Perfect. Let's say random tick speed to 4. Alright. What other notifications were there? We just went through them all. Obviously there was like banning and shit. I don't want to bother with that again. There's opping. Or actually, let's see. When I go to the one of these that's get server status. Server status. Does this actually send a notification or does this just send a response? That just says a response. Okay, so that is probably the actual server heartbeat there that I made one of those notifications. But hey, If you turn that on for some reason, then good to you. But yeah, basically this here is what gets returned by that, or what the heartbeat, I guess, tells you. Why is schema null here? Get server status. Oh, no, that's the send schema. This is the result here. Yeah. So that is that is another thing. So now that we've got notification handling set up here, so if I was supposed to opt, so like send an opt for JRD, nothing changed. The player's up. Oh, apparently I've opt. This is the same server I've been using for this entire testing thing, since they added this, so it makes sense. So yeah, we can remove JRD from the operator list. We can add him back. Opt JRD at level 4 and can't bypass player limit. There needs to be a space after the can't there. There we go. Can't bypass player limit. That is pretty good. So the next thing we need to do, because obviously the point of this is you don't want to use this with access to the console here, right? We want to use this thing in a way where we can actually get like results down here, or have the actual results be printed down here. So most of the time, when things come through with an ID number, or not a notification, but like a result here. When things come through with an ID number, they're going to have this result object. So coming back here, parse discovery, that's not it. Parse response, here it is. So if it doesn't have a dedicated ID like the discovery does, or if its ID isn't, or if it does, or if our ID is -1 and it is not null, or I guess I'll have to add else if ID not equal to -1. So otherwise, if ID is not equal to -1, then we're gonna get a JSON object or result equal to data.get JSON object named result, because this is where any potential results will come through. And I think everything that you send off will respond with something, even if it doesn't. Wow, okay. Unrelated to string. Result. Oh yeah, everything should have some sort of result, regardless of what it is. Here, let me just take a quick. That was Minecraft. A quick scroll through the list. Phone's buzzing up a storm here. Cool. Another server save happened. Okay. So, allow list. Most, I'm trying to see if any of these would have not, or should not return anything. I mean, obviously, clearing the IP bands, I think this technically will return. Because if we look at this, yeah, that does return an empty array for result. So, yeah, I think everything will return at least an empty array for result. I think that technically supposed to return an array of banned players, but it always returns nothing. So we'll do this. We'll get a str result string equals result.toString. Actually, I don't know if there's a way to make these things print in a single line, which is kind of what I want to do. Or is it? You know what? Actually, I'll leave it however this wants it, but I'll need to split it up by, like, response. So So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to create an array here. Another array list. I love my array lists. List of string result text equals. All right. So what we're going to do. We're going to get the result there. Then we're going to go say string result lines equals result string dot split at the new line character. So hopefully none of these lines will go too wide for us. We're going to have our result text. We're going to quickly add a line here that's going to be the ID plus that. And then for, you know what, this can be rather asynchronous. So for string line in results, not result text, result lines. We're just going to add them. I think there's technically an add all function, but I can't be bothered to figure out the syntax for that right now. All right. Oh, sorry, just regular line. Add that line to the end of it. This will gradually make the results longer. Annoyingly, if there is an error, this will not allow us to highlight that error in red, but this is a quick and dirty thing. I know this stream was mostly supposed to be, let's make the user interface better, but evidently I'm just adding the finishing touches to this. Maybe we'll make, I can't process it. Maybe I will do it in the future off stream where I do that, but for now I am mostly just looking at making this thing fully functional. Then we can maybe do a little bit of stuff. So where is calc maximum scrolling value? So I did have a float for output height here. So we're gonna put a final. So we're gonna have a final int output text size, which is gonna be equal to, let's say, 25 for now. So output height is going to be equal to output text size times result text size, because the text size does match up pretty nicely with the actual physical height of these things. We might need to adjust this a little bit, but that is basically what that should be. So now we're going to go render this. The draw function here above this. Float output y toss. I need to figure out where that's going to be. So that needs to be at the end of basically all other things here. The server methods and the parameters height. Non-result height. So basically we're gonna take this entire thing and put it in here. Apart from this output height shit, that's going to come back in here. And then here we're just going to return that. That way I can use this again. Let's instead of that being 0, that is going to be rough. Wait, this does add a little bit of padding onto it, doesn't it? Yes, adds like an extra 100. So the calculate scrolling height here is going to have an extra 100 added onto there. So this, the actual scrolling size will be the same, but this should be, I'm gonna add like 30 on. So draw is that plus like 30. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go for our actually string line in result text. We're gonna say, first of all, we're gonna say fill 0. Left top, text line left top, and then text size. We'll go to the output text size. So then we're gonna, oh, I need a semicolon. So we're going to text the line at, say, 10 away from the wall, and there. And then this can be incremented by the text size, and that should be that should be a functional result output text system. It contributes to scrolling and so much else. So let's start with simple. Actually, I should also maybe have the. Let's think about this. I should maybe also have the method name put in there, just so you know what this is the result for. I think I know how I can do that. So let's say getting the max players. We send that. Did we crash? No, we didn't. But we did get. Oh wait. Right. Result is a JSON array. Where did I do that? Where did I fuck this up? Get JSON array. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter necessarily how that works. That's gonna. Again, let's get the list of online players currently. Send. Ooh, that is not at the right height at all. Huh. Why is that at that height? Does that 100 need to be down here, actually? I thought that was just additional padding for the bottom of the scrolling value, but maybe I was wrong. Get all connected players, send that. No, that's still all the way up there. What is going on with this? Maybe not. So when I'm drawing this shit, yeah, no. Or when I'm placing these, which would be on the mouse click here.
40 plus 45 times server methods dot size. That, wait, this is only 40 here. Wait, I'm getting confused. Should this be 45? Do I actually not know my own program well, like at all? So let's get the players, scroll all the way down. What do you know? I mean, you can scroll quite far now. I did intend to have this here, but should also set it much closer. And also when I click on something that was going to require parameters, like we'll go, after this we'll do like the player kick thing. So that's going to be there. Actually, so if I click the up to game rule, that moves down when I go to the up to game. Man, you can kind of scroll just kind of a ways off screen right now. Also, if I just get all the game rules, admittedly, this is a lot, but it's all on the screen. Water source conversion. I wouldn't recommend necessarily doing that, but if you did want to scroll through all those, there's your answer. Ooh, I should add a blank line at the end of each of these. So, where is... Add a blank line, because we probably want some vertical separation between these things. But now if I go to something like setting the message... Oh, wait. Oh, it's getting the message of the day. Oh, God. I shouldn't have... Ooh. Error. 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 If I click system message, for instance, we get this. Everything moves down correctly. What is this error? Result is not... It's not a JSON array. Is there... Result is going to be something. So we do have a JSON object. Is there, I forget, is there just a get? I think there should just be a get method. JSON object. There's various get methods. I mean, this probably won't actually show correct. Let me go to the process. Okay, processing Java doc. This is an outdated one, but I'm sure it'll be fine. It's probably the processing 3 Java doc. I know there's a new one for Java 4, but or processing 4 even. Format get boolean. Okay, there is just a get. Okay, so we're just gonna make this an object, and we're just gonna use get. Why is that not on the processing reference page? Tell me how that's not on the processing reference page. Anyhow, so that was for message of the day, because yeah, that should just return a string. So let's go get the message of the day again. Message of the day. Wait, is this set message? No, this is get. Yeah, okay. A Minecraft management server. That is what I set this to. Now, if I were to go and... What happens after I send a system message? I'm going to go and chat on the Minecraft there. So we're going to just send it to myself. System message. Annoyingly, this is you can't just do a broadcast system message that's sent to all players. You send a message to specific players. That I find a little annoying. Oh yeah, something else I should probably do, because this overlay thing, or the tick boxes here, they go red currently when they're selected. I probably should make that like a check mark instead. Anyhow, it just returns true. Okay. But yeah, I should definitely put the method name there, which is a little easier said than done. But I mean, this thing is technically functional now. So, I mean, you can't see all those. I'm not going to fix that today. That's too much effort. Should I get the ban list here? Who's on the ban list? No one. Okay. What about the whitelist? I am on the whitelist and no one else is. Cool. Actually, so if I were to do something like allow list add, we'll get two responses here. First of all, we'll get the notification Jared Cole was added to the whitelist, and second of all, we'll get the entire whitelist printed out here for some reason. Minecraft, everyone. That is the unfortunate part with all these responses, is that they will just slowly add up over time. So after I get, okay, so I'm gonna, okay, so as for how we're gonna add the method names, we're going to do a map here. So we're gonna have a hash map of integer to string. This is going to be the name, not the name map. The method ID map equals new hash map. So what we're going to do is when we get a result here, on this first line, we're going to plus that dot get for this ID, and then at the end we're going to do this dot remove ID just for memory, you know, compactness, or just to keep the memory down or whatever. Now, the flip side to this is we actually need to add shit to this map when a thing is sent, and I think that's just on mouse click here. You like send button. Yeah, socket.send. So before we do that, and this is kind of getting to some of that parallel stuff that I'm a little bit worried about, but hopefully it won't be an issue. We're going to do method ID map dot add. This is, we're going to have to do this right before we increment the message ID, otherwise it won't work. Next message ID, comma, working command.get name. Because that's apparently how I did that. Oh. Really? Really? This... Oh, it's not add, it's put. Duh. Which for some reason processing doesn't highlight. There's a server save coming in there. So now, when I come in here, we connect, we go look at the IP bands, we click send, we have that, we have the type, and we have that. Entity broadcast range. You know what I should also do? I should have the specific name of what you're about to send right next to the send button here, but the entity broadcast range is 100. Okay, let's do that quickly. So where's my send button draw? What is the size of the send button? It is 10 tall. So, or no, 20 tall. So text size 20. Oh, we'll go 15. 15 text L-I-G-N left comma top fill 0, and then we text working command dot get name, or is it just dot name? Yeah, it's get name. And then let's go 130. Ooh, and then I need whatever the height of the send button is. That. There we go. There we go. So that is right next to the send button there. Wait a minute. Yeah. Send button also shouldn't. Hang on. If working command not equal to null. Yeah, hang on. The send button shouldn't be around, or shouldn't be drawn if there is no working command currently. That's kind of an important thing. Okay, so yeah, so now it's not there, but if I want to check if it accepts transfers, okay, we can definitely go for 20 on the text size. Anyhow, so if I send that, I guess we get false because the accepts transfers server properties thing is default to false. So if I get the difficulty of the server, it's easy mode. The view distance right now is 15. What about setting force game mode? Is where we get one of these tick boxes. Again, you can see here that's right there. Status replies. True. And we can set that with an enabled thing. Okay. I forgot what I said I was going to go do after I got the little name here, but I'm now going to make this thing have a check mark instead of just. That'd be schema boolean. Boolean. Where's that draw function? Draw. Okay. So, well, this is already in the wrong order. So we're gonna get that. We're gonna say if enabled. We're gonna stroke ergo render. Wait, what is the UI? Oh, it's UI dot get source dot stroke for 25500. Yeah, oh gosh, this is the most annoying way to do stuff, but guess we got to do it. So we do that. Stroke weight. Let's go 4 pixels wide. Then we're gonna need to draw the line. I forget what is accessible from the button. So it's gonna be stroke weight dot x or check dot x, comma check dot y. What? How? My God! What the hell? Check dot x, comma dot x, comma check dot y. Okay, so x and y are perfectly valid. So to start with, we're actually going to do y plus check dot dy divided by 2. What is it? Length y. And then y plus check dot length y check dot length x divided by 2. So that's going to be one line. I hope setting the stroke won't fuck anything else up, but I mean, it probably will. So now we're gonna go in a different way. So plus check the length x. That's gonna be the top corner, and then the other one is still gonna be, still gonna be at the bottom. All right. So now. So now we go to something like status replies here. No, set or hide online players. Yeah. Stroke is being set. Wait. I set the stroke weight, but not the act. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Now that's on obvious check. So I do something like, not set the message of the day, because that's just text. But if I do a system message here, that is quite obvious. Okay. Oh, I'm just not setting the stroke in the main context here. Oh, that makes sense. Everything else is setting the stroke just fine. Okay. Perfect. And yeah. I'm not too sure what too much there is left to do. But before we draw the params, before we draw this rectangle, yeah, I set the stroke weight, but I don't set the stroke itself to 0. There we go. That was a bit of an oversight. Just relying on everything else to be quite nice about it. So yeah, we got here, great functionality. Want to set a game rule, it's that. Set the entity broadcast range. If we want to hide online players, that now no longer changes the stroke of things. All right. Now one of the most interesting things that I find here is that we can actually change the server render distance at runtime now. It's finally possible. So actually, let's get what it is currently right now. So it's called view distance. It's the render distance, 15. It's currently set to 15. I believe my client's is set. View distance is set. So we'll put this over here. We'll type in a 20. Get the Minecraft over here. This is quite dark because it is night. There's a village over there. Actually, I think that village is perfect because you can just. Actually, here, I will move this over to my other screen so that you just see the results. So, it's just barely visible. I now changed the render distance. I just set the simulation distance to 20, not the render distance, dang it. Set the view distance to 20. That didn't change anything. What? Oh, wait, what? Did they fit? What is my render distance set to? No wonder. There we go. Well, that was awfully lame. My render distance was set to what the server's was, which is apparently 15 by default these days. So, okay, now if I set it back down to 15, you'll notice all the chunks immediately reload to that lower render distance. If we go back to 20, bam, force reload, all the way up to 20. If I go down to 2, bam, I can see nothing. Then, bam, I can see everything again. Amazing shit. Alright, I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing for the rest of the stream, but I'm going to quickly go to the bathroom, and I guess I'll be back after that.
All right. So what am I doing now? I'm not entirely sure, because this product is basically functional here. Ah, scroll bar. Scroll bar. Okay, this is gonna be a thing. So, put that over there. Boop. Boop, basically. Alright. Oh no, green screen. Yeah. There we go. So, the biggest thing about the scroll bar that's going to be annoying is making sure it's sized correctly. Because obviously we have the scroll value already. So, that is more or less useful. So, I guess this camera zone here is where we're going to be rendering the scroll bar. And actually, we should render that scroll bar underneath the notifications. So, we're gonna do a transparent rectangle, which is gonna go from like -20 or something like that. So with -20, 0, 20, and the height. So, just testing what this looks like. Obviously, it should only appear once we're here. Yep. If anything, I want to make that even more transparent. So let's go. Let's go 80 on the transparency there. Yeah, that's pretty. That's good. That's good. All right. So now that we got that, we're going to let's go with a gray color. It's kind of middle-ish gray, a little on the darker side of things. Let's say that. Let's do that. Then we're going to create another rectangle with it's gonna have the same kind of dimensions as that. The Y value is going to be, for now, we'll just set that to the scroll value actually, which is an integer for some reason. Where was I? Around here, yeah. It's 20 wide. I guess make it like 10 tall or something like that. So now okay, well, oh, the scroll value is negative, isn't it? Wait, is it? So I go negative scroll value, so I wasn't expecting it to disappear immediately once I move it by 1. Yeah, okay. But then of course it's not actually related to the thing. So let's go get the max scroll value. Which is, so, and this is already a float, so that's convenient. Because Java is, you know, not dumb when it comes to types. It'll be understood, oh, you're dividing an integer by a float? You clearly want it to be a float after that, right? I can understand that. Broadcasting these types together. Alright. So now this is basically going to represent where, you know, you can scroll to, except apart from the fact that, you know, it goes off screen at the bottom, which isn't ideal. Also, if you, like, you know, expand the actual size here, it will move accordingly. Height minus the 10 that this thing is tall. That'll do it. I'm not going to bother having the size of this thing change with the availableness, because that seems like a lot more effort. I will also have to do mouse shit here. I don't know why it's actually not going all the way to the bottom now. Or, I guess it never gets to 100% on the scroll value. Oh well. Yeah, now there's, like, you know, a scroll bar that shows you approximately where you are. This actually hasn't been that hard. Scroll bar there. Now for mouse clicked. That's a little bit more difficult. Okay, first thing we go to do. Oh, right. I also have to put more things on the start page, on the connect to server page, or I guess it's called the start screen. I have to put a SSL button, or a use SSL or use TLS button. I have to put that in there, and then if you get an error, I also want to display that error or a bunch of that error on the main page. So. Anyhow, for now, this all so actually I'll need to do this before we adjust the mouse value, because I kind of need that mouse value, or the mouse Y value. So if mouse X greater than width minus 20, and mouse at MOUSEX less than or equal to width. Actually, it's just literally within that column. Then screen PER sent is equal to 1.0 times mouse Y divided by height, and then make sure that's a float, and then we'll set the scroll value equal to calculate max scroll value times the percentage, and then we'll cast that all to an int. And then, of course, we'll return, because I don't want to process any other mouse events at that point. So, this is also just from a mouse click, so you can't, like, oh, negative. That's right. That's good. I then also need to add this exact logic here to any other things. Oh, I don't have, okay. Void. So mouse dragged if current menu is managed. Okay, so now this should feel a slight bit more responsive. So yeah, as you drag it through here, you scroll. I mean, I guess it's a relatively thin area, but yeah, you can scroll up and down through here. And just clicking an area will also move it, but of course the scroll wheel works as well. And if I were to do something dumb, like request all the game rules, you can see how much that affects it. Oh, and you can see just how much game rule there is. Oh gosh, why would anyone do that? Yeah, never do that one, guys. It's like not good at all. I mean, unless you need this, but you'll be scrolling for days, guys. Not worth it. Not at all. Not at all. Next. So next we go back to this screen here. Actually, we're going to need two buttons. We're going to need both a use TLS and a button to trust. I'm guessing we're going to need a button to trust unsigned certificates. Or trust self-signed certs, basically. So let me... Okay, let me go get these now. So where are our buttons being defined? So connect button, send button, use TLS button, allow allow all certs button. Both of these are going to be effectively check boxes that are right next to each other. And I guess I'll put text next to them. Just copy paste this. We'll get rid of the connect text there. Obviously this doesn't need to be nearly as big. So 100 over is fine. 500, no, it should be... How tall is this thing? This is like 50, so 560, and this should be like 620 about. Oh, and in terms of their width here, I'm gonna make both of these 50, and then we're gonna draw these. They're gonna need also associated values, obviously. I fucked up this one. And I'm also gonna want to put their wall color back to 0, or their stroke color. Wait, no, that's the one we want to be different. Oh, I messed this one up. This thing should be 620. This should be 100. There we go. Now we need two more texts. Text. Use TLS text and allow all certs text. And we initialize these things here. We'll initialize them with the rest of the text. Use TLS. It's just going to be that. So allow self SI signed certs, which only really matters if you use TLS is already set to true. So 3 set. So these are gonna have to be down at like so. What is this? 560 plus 25. 585. So like 585
and 20 plus 25, 645. Um, 150. Say 160 for these things. All right. Then we draw them. And then we get variables that kind of correspond with them, so we can actually, you know, show that they're active or not. And then I might want to go dive into checking. All right. Because I'm expecting the way that this is going to work is that, or these certificates that you're going to be able to provide from your server to your server are like actual SSL certificates, because that's how TLS typically works. In which case, unless you're, you know, getting your certificates for your domain from your, you know, from a trusted certificate authority like Let's Encrypt, you're going to be generating them yourselves, and by default, the sockets and stuff in Java do not want to allow self-signed certificates like that, so I have to jerry-rig a thing with this option here to just bypass any authentication checks. It'll still work perfectly fine for encryption, but and that's actually the point of these certificates. The point of these isn't to like verify that yes, I am exactly who I say I am. The point of these is encrypting network traffic, which can be done perfectly valid with a self-signed certificate. But typically these certificates play two roles on a double role on website. One, they allow traffic between you and the website to be encrypted, so people can't see what you're sending the website for like passwords and stuff. Very useful. But then the other thing that they do is they prove that the web server that you're talking to is in fact the web server that is in fact who they say they are. So like the web server will be like, "Hi, yes, I am in fact Google.com and not an imposter. You can be sure that I am safe." This is also why websites say, well, it's kind of misleading when you see, "Oh, we are verified and secure with SSL encryption technology." That doesn't mean shit. It just means that the website is actually being run by the people who own the domain, and it doesn't mean anything else. It could still be a completely shady as frick website, but it just means that, you know, your traffic to the shady website is encrypted. That's all that means. Anyhow, let's actually implement this shit. I guess boolean use TLS. Set that to true by default because I feel like people would. Oh, should I? Never mind. These will they'll be loaded. Boolean allow all certs equals false. We will actually, you know, we'll load these actually. Where was I here? Stored credentials is not equal to null. So if here I will tools and use TLS. I just want to get this. Is null, not num, null. Use TLS. So stored credentials dot get boolean use TLS. And then I got these backwards. Well, allow underscore all underscore certs. We'll just do it like that. And for now, those will default to whatever. But I need to now go into the render code here to actually make them draw the, you know, thing. So stroke 25500, stroke weight, say, let's go 5. Why not? Let's go big. then if use TLS, we'll say a line from dot x dot y plus use TLS button dot length y divided by 2. That goes to dot x plus length x divided by 2. Alright, so there's one line, and then the other is simply the regular y value. Alright, there's that. And then we copy paste this for allow all certs. So then we load this. Oop, I did that wrong. So it shouldn't be oh, it's not half length Y, it is just the full length Y. That's right. Oh, that didn't actually fix it. Oh, look. It's gonna just rerun that. There we go. There's that messy little check mark there. Whatever. Now functionality. So now we have to go mouse clicked. If dot mouse over if I copied the text, not the actual buttons. That is a tad bit embarrassing. So then use TLS equals not use. Oh, dang it. And allow. Okay, so it is just allow all certs not equal to allow all certs, or equals not allow all certs. Alright, so this should mean the buttons can actually be toggled on and off now. Alright, now let's see. Connect to server. This false here, I believe, should be replaced with use TLS. I believe that's what that was referring to, because I'm pretty sure I already baked into the web server stuff the ability to use the secure version of WebSockets or the insecure version. So if I now connect, it'll get an error because SSL exception, unrecognized SSL message, plain text connection, maybe? But yeah, that's correct, because I don't have any sort of SSL set up on the Minecraft server right now. So hold up, let me figure out how to do this. First of all, first thing, we're gonna go to minecraft.net. This is not Minecraft.net. There we go. That was a fucking scam site. I will not be participating in your captchas. So, see all news. I need to go back to where they added authentication, which was a few weeks ago at this point. That would have been the last non-pre-release snapshot. I want to say. Holy fuck, how far back did I just go? That shit's from 20 goddamn 20 there. What the hell? Craft Live 2020. What the fuck? Here we have stuff for 21.9 previous the one. Then we have the 2023 Minecraft Live recap. Something's broken, Minecraft. Suddenly I'm back into like 2020. Okay. And then there's the 2021 mob vote. What the hell? Okay, okay. So we're just gonna go to this page. Minecraft dash 25W 25W was it 40A? 35. Oh. Ooh, this is a cool little 404 page. Oh, here it is. 37A. Oh, snapshot that. This was... Ah, perfect. This is where they talk, apply the authentication things. We got that. Okay. TLS is enabled by default. Can be disabled with that. Requires a key store file to be set in server.proper. Must be a PKCS12 format. The key store password can be set in the following ways. In order of precedence. I will just set this for now because this is an example thing. This will be set in server.properties, which is this one. Okay. So, can be disabled. Okay, TLS requires a key store file to be set. Let's say another key store file, a PKCS12. Let's see. How to create a PKCS12 key store file. With the dot, what was the extension of the P12? Yeah, with the dot P12 PFX extension typically involves using the OpenSSL command line tool. Is this something that I got? Here, I am going to, because I think opening a terminal might be a weird situation here. I'm gonna open up a command, it's gonna be a regular terminal. Projects. Alright, there we go. This should be fine here. So if I open SSL, I do have that. Okay. Guess that comes with Windows. That's not what I meant to grab. I guess that comes with Windows these days. Alright. You mean, okay. Private key and certificate. You need an existing private key. Okay. And its corresponding certificate. Ideally in PEM format. If you have a certificate chain, you would like to include all certificates in a single file. Okay. So, and this is Linux code, but I guess Windows will probably work. So, this is the worst way of copying a file I've ever seen. Oh, this is, I guess, combining them. If you have a CA certificate chain appended as well. I think I've had to do this stuff for a web server in the past. Okay. If you need to create a self-signed certificate, then package into a key store. Okay, this is actually what I want to do. So, we go here, we go open SSL. Let's just make sure that, okay. Rec dash X509 dash new key RSA 96 dash key. Why don't I just click the copy button here? That would be vastly easier. Let's make this a little bit wide. Okay, so I'll put space in front of it. So OpenSSL, I think, did not mean to take a screenshot there. So request. So I don't know what most of this does. This is the hashing variant or whatever. I don't think REQ is in this list of here, but yeah, RSA 4096. Keyout is mykey.pm. Our output is cert. Our 365 days and nodes, I guess. This should create a self-signed certificate for something. I don't know. All right. Can't open Z colon? What? Can't open Z colon X for reading. No such file directory. Yeah, no clue. Well, why are you trying to open Z colon? Let's go into Windows subsystem for Linux to do this. That might be slightly more reliable. And then creating the paxt12 file. This looks pretty name. Don't know about password here, but we'll see that. I don't think there's anything. Oh, trying to type on the terminal here. All right, so let's try that again. Well, actually, before I do this, let's see if we have OpenSSL installed on WSL. It is. Cool. Now work for me, dang it. That's a lot of plus signs. Okay, you are about to be asked to enter information that will be incorporated into your certificate request. What you are about to enter is what is called a distinguished name, or DN. There are quite a few fields, but you can leave some blank. That's great. Some fields there will be a default value, and if you enter dot, the field will be left blank. Okay, country name, US. I don't know why Australia was the default for that, but okay. State or province name, full name, New York. Locality name, we'll just New York. Not actually New York City, but I'm just gonna put that in there because that's technically valid. Organization name, CBI Games. Organizational unit name, just leave that blank. Common name, e.g. server, FQN, or your name. Oh, CBI or CBI1. Why not? Email address, fuck you at getalife.com. All right. And we now have the certificate. Cool. Don't know entirely what that did. All right, and then create the PAX12 or PKCS12. Self-signed cert. I don't know. I know you can. Actually, it might just prompt me for a password. In which case, I don't care if you know this password, because this is just for like an internal test Minecraft server to test certificates and crap. I'm not going to test with a real SSL certificate, as that would be way too much effort and would actually require me to put this thing on a domain anyway. So, yeah, export password. I'm just going to make it Minecraft. M-I-N-E-C-R-A-F-T. M-I-N-E-C-R-A-F-T. All right, so now we should have keystore.p12. Perfect. Okay, now I go. Oh, I gotta actually move. Wait, no. I was in the right folder. I hate File Explorer in Windows 11. I was just trying to click around and the whole thing froze up. I mean, I can open a new tab for some reason, and that tab works perfectly fine. The tabs, I don't really care. I want File Explorer to just work. It always worked in Windows 10. Why does it not always work in Windows 11?
the wrong folder. Projects. This server. All right, keystore.p12. All right. Server.properties. Yoink. Let's see. Where is that key store related shit here? Oh no, you can see this. I don't care. Server T. I think it's this one. Slash key store. Because then it will enable that, and the password is it's just Minecraft. All right, we'll restart the Minecraft server now. Boop. So we'll run stop. We will run launch. Bum, 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 bum. Hopefully this works and is all valid. It would be very annoying if it wasn't. Because I've never actually done... never done this before. Failed to configure TLS for the server management protocol. Okay. Crash report has been saved. Okay, well that's just unrelated. The supplies key store is not a file or does not exist. Oh, and it rearranged everything. It doesn't like the slash. It just deleted all the slashes. I believe that's the actual folder. Makes no sense. Okay. Come on. Work this time. No. Is not or filed or does not exist. I will verify that this file path is completely correct here. It keeps changing things. Oh, that slash. What is this supposed to be? Slash. So server slash keystore.p12. Now let me go back to the thing here where it's saying it must be in the PKCS 12 key store password can be set in the following way. Okay. Yeah. Path to keystore.p12. Actually, here, I'm not gonna actually supply the full path. It's in the same it's gonna run from the same directory as the actual server. So theoretically it'll just do the local keystore.p12. Cause yeah. Okay. Try it again. I don't think the fact that this was... Okay, there we go. That worked. I don't know why I didn't like the absolute path. That's kind of strange. So now that this thing is running with TLS enabled, we go back to me. If I try to connect without TLS, it will fail. Big ass dump in the Minecraft console. Oh god, that's a long ass stack trace. What is it saying? Wait, hang on. Processing. Where are you? There you are. Execution exception. Not the SSL exception. Unrecognized SSL message. Plain text connection. Okay, I didn't actually tell it to use TLS that time, but it just kind of did anyway. Oh wait, hang on. That was the first one. I just realized. I was looking at the first one there. So, okay, exception while building WebSocket. HT 1.1 header parser reserved no bytes. EOF while reading. Because the Minecraft server went and did stuff. I don't know why it opened twice. But an exception call event was fired and so io.netty decode exception, io.netty handler SSL, not SSL record exception, not an SSL TLS record. This is actually
It's printing several times. I think this is actually... Well, we didn't tell it to try to connect with SSL. So that might be because it didn't connect with SSL. That's why it's this. That or it's talking about the file. I can't tell which. For now, I'm going to, until I've proven otherwise, I'm going to assume that it's talking about the actual SSL connection. It's talking about the connection not being SSL. So let's use TLS. That also didn't work. But notably, we didn't get that giant vomit error here, which probably means it is on my side here. Bum 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 bum. Execution. Pix path building failed. Blah 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 blah. Unable to validate certification path to request target. Yeah. Okay. Exactly as I thought. It's not willing to let this connection go through because it cannot validate the authority of the certificate. It doesn't have one, to be clear. I just made it up myself. But encryption is the point, not that. So now, how is it that I go about implementing this again? Hang on. I need to look through some other Java stuff that I've done. Because I've done this before. More than once, actually, I have gone through and had to change the way that the Java handles TLS. I've had to look this up before because I've done stuff, had to do stuff with either expired or self-signed certificate. One of the times actually was for my website, so cbigames.org, it's linked in the description, used to be hosted on Glitch. They, over the summer, stopped doing web hosting. I don't know what the fuck they do now, but it sure as hell ain't web hosting anymore, which is annoying. So one of the things I had to do is I had to download all my shit off of their site. And for some reason, they didn't have an option to just download all your website's assets. You could download all the code, but not their assets. But they did give you this JSON file, which contained a link to all the assets. So I had to write a thing myself to go through and download all the assets. And like the SSL certificate for their CDN servers was expired. So I had to just say, okay, trust whatever certificate they give you. What would that have been called now? Probably like download glitch assets. That's what I called it. Wait to see if processing is willing to open. No. Oh, no, File Explorer's fucked up again. No. I hate Windows 11 File Explorer. It is an absolute offense to everything that File Explorer should be. Oh yeah, so apparently their SSL certificates expired a year ago from when I was doing it, so that's fun. And okay, so void allow setup SSL verification bypass. And then I gotta import some things. I don't know if there's actually going to be a better way to do this, but I think that's all I need to do. Close that. Alright, so here's what we got. Here's what we got. So this thing has a wacky amount of indent. Okay. So this here, evidently I need an extra one of those. So this here is the function that will do all the magic. Gotta do another. Oh. Dash exe exception e. I don't care. All right, that's what it's complaining about. exception. Throwable. There we go. I don't honestly care, but yes. So this is what we have to do here. So we have to create our own trust manager. I call it trust all certs. Which is, or it's an array, but it's got one element. It contains this one X509 trust manager. Hey, we saw X509 in that OpenSSL command we ran. So that seems to line up quite well. And then it just contains the following methods in this, because I guess this is an abstract class or something. Get accepted issuers, just return null. Check client trusted, doesn't return anything, and check server trusted also doesn't return anything. We just don't care. This will bypass everything, and then down here is actually applying it. So we create a new SSL context, which is called SC. We initialize it with a null, this, and then a new random number, and then we set this as the default. We set the default socket factory to be this. I don't know if this is actually going to necessarily work for WebSockets. If not, I got to figure out what the equivalent for this to WebSockets would be. But basically, what we're going to do is if allow all certs, I also called it that, okay. If in mouse clicked, or if in connect to server, I guess, is where we're going to do this. So under connect to server, before we create the socket, if allow all certs. So if we want to allow all certs, then we're going to set up the SSL verification bypass, and then hopefully it should just go and work. Let's try this. Allow self-signed certs, connect. It didn't work. See, I don't know this WebSocket API too well. So down here we have set default SSL socket factory for HTTPS URL connection. Let's go Java WebSocket. Go to, this is technically not the correct documentation for this, but it's good enough. So the builder is probably where we're going to need to look at, because this is what's important. So we have our URI and our that. Build a WebSocket connected to a given URI associated with listener. The timeouts. So we can set our connection timeout. We can set headers, which we do. Subprotocol sets a request for the given subprotocol. I'm not necessarily seeing a way in here HTTP client. So this is using the HTTP URL connection. So HTTP client. Is there something like this in HTTP client? Authenticator. HTTP client. WebSocket builder. Send asynchronous. SSL context. So we do have an SSL context here. We have parameters and HTTP client version. So here we use the set default SSL socket factory here, but we also have we could get the okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this code here. I'm gonna go to ChatGPT. I'm gonna go over to ChatGPT. Gonna get the sign-in prompt. No. Okay. And we're gonna ask it, how can I change this code to allow a WebSocket to use self-asserts in Java? And then we go boop, boop, and then there's that. To allow WebSocket connections over to you with self-signed certificate, you need to adapt your code to make sure that the SSL context with a permissive trust manager is created, which you already have. Yep. Your WebSocket client uses that SSL, not just the HTTP URL connection, which is for HTTP, not WebSockets. You also typically need to disable hostname verification, optional but common with self-signed certificate. Okay, here's how you can modify your code and apply it to a WebSocket client. Below is an example using Java's WebSocket. Java WebSocket, is that what we, hang on, I need to verify. That's what we use. This is JavaNet HTTP. So that's not entirely how it would work. Because the org Java WebSocket is not the one that's built into Java. But anyway, let's see how this. So we got our blah 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 blah. We have our SSL context, get TLS. What is ours getting? SSL. Well, same thing, probably. We initialize that, we create our own factory. That's for the, okay, use a WebSocket client with, so you do that with your server URI. Oh. Wait, what? Disable hostname verification optional and insecure. So what is this? Create the SSL factory. Where is the factory end up being used? Okay, regardless. Could you provide me with an example for the java.net.websocket? I'm using the standard Java WebSocket API, which I am because that's widely available. Or Jakarta WebSocket. Yeah, okay. Wait, it's not Java X. It's just Java, right? Yeah, it's just. Oh, not. Oh, wait, sorry. I meant. Sorry. Sorry, I meant the. JavaNet HTTP. Got it. You're asking about the JavaNet standard Java 11 plus HTTP. You want to convert it. Oh, I did not know it was Java 11 plus. That's useful to know. Okay, you can use that with self-signed, but you must configure a custom HTTP client with permissive SSL. Yeah, that's fine. We love to do all this stuff. Okay, so that we know. This already. We might need to change that to TLS if this doesn't work, but whatever. Okay, so we create a new HTTP client with a builder. Put. Okay, that makes sense. WebSocket client.new WebSocket builder. Okay. So what is this? An SSL context? Will we just pass our SSL context in there? And this is that. Okay. Port secure on disabling certificate validation for using a all trust manager is not safe for production as it opens up to man-in-the-middle attacks. Yep, I understand that. Production, you should import the self-signed certificates to a custom trust store, load that store into your SSL context, but for testing or whatever, it's fine. Yep, no external libraries are needed for this because it's all in vanilla Java. Okay, so I'm gonna need to modify this, and by that I mean we're gonna duplicate this constructor here, but we're gonna add an SSL context here to the end. And the SSL context is from JavaNet SSL. No. Okay, then what we're going to need to do, instead of using HTTP, so we're going to need to go a step further. Instead of just the new calling new HTTP client, so we're going to need our HTTP client is equal to, I'll put this all on the same line just so that it's not too bad. This was actually pretty simple. But the fact that there are so many different WebSocket implementations existing in the Java ecosystem is a little bit confusing, honestly. Sorry, I meant this one. Okay, and then yeah, from there we just do get the new WebSocket builder. Yeah. Yes. So now actually this will return an SSL context instead of doing this here. So return SC, still catch whatever. Let's either stack trace and then return null. Other errors can be found in that. So we're gonna do this. I'm getting a SSL text context is equal to that. So evidently this is going to have to be an else at the moment, because we're going to take this and just pass the context in at the end there. All right, let's check this. See if this works. So you all allow self-signed certs. Okay, this actually I like this approach better, because this means that if you then get kicked out of the session and then come back, you can uncheck this box and it will actually go through verification in the next connection attempt. Damn it, it didn't work. No subject alternative name present. What? No subject alternative names present. Did something happen on the Minecraft side of things? No, I am confused. Let me make sure that this down here is nothing to... Oh, wait, hang on. TLS. TLS. Let's try that. That might have something to do with it. I don't know. It might. Because it was SSL beforehand. No, that didn't change anything. Oh. No such algorithm exception. TLS is... Oh. Because there's an S there. How did that happen? No. Okay, I'm guessing it's probably the same. WebSocket connection. Okay. Besides that, so we made sure to set that to TLS. This Java Security Secure Random is fine. So you trust all certs null there. Oh, get accepted issuers. good. Have this actually return a new this array of 0. This array of 0. I don't think that's going to necessarily change anything. No, that didn't change anything. Yeah, okay. Oh, ChatGPT. Okay, let's see. Now I am getting this error when I try to connect. And send that off. Let's see what ChatGPT. Okay, there you're seeing. Means the SSL certificate provided by the server does not include a subject alternative name, a SAN, and modern Java clients require SANs for host name verification. Why this happens? An older SSL cert, the common name in the certificate was used to match the host name. Since Java 1.7 Plus, this was deprecated, and 1.9 requires SANs in certificates for hostname verification. Your self-signed certificate likely has a CN but no SAN. Java rejects handshake. Okay, let's see. Generate a new self-signed certificate. This is the correct security fix. Use OpenSSL to generate a new self-signed certificate with proper SANs. Example generated self-signed using OpenSSL. Create a config file. Sure, why the hell not? I've already been here for nearly 3 hours. Let's just get this to make sure it works, and then I'll call it there, because let's be realistic, that's not happening anytime soon. So what is this? SAN.cnf. Okay, new text document. SAN.cnf. No, just use Notepad for now for this. So here's what this is. Distinguished name, REQ distinguishable name. REQ distinguishable name, C equals US, CTX test, or street test, L local, O my org, CN, your server.local. Subject alt name, at alt names. Alt names, DNS, what one? Your server.local. DNS2 local and your IP1, okay. So then run that. This will create your private key. So make sure your server uses these files and that the WebSocket client connects to localhost, or what am I using for the IP address right now? I'm using localhost. Good. Okay. Yeah. Disable host name verification. Oh, could also do that, but I could also do this, but for now I'm just going to test it with a regular self-signed certificate. So we got that file saved, and now I'm going to stop the Minecraft server. I'm going to have to open up a new WSL session here so that, you know, OpenSSL works properly. So notably, actually, here, let me reopen that. Oh wait, no, that's not necessary. So it is called key.p. Oh, it's just regular key.pm, not my key now. Oh. Instead of my key, it's now just key.pem. And cert.pem is fine. All right. So M-I-N-E-C-R-A-F-T. M-I-N-E-C-R-A-F-T. Alright. So that should be that. Now we relaunched the Minecraft server. Okay. That has launched and loaded, as you can see. Now go back to processing and connect. And we're connected! That took a lot of effort. And we're connected now, and the web and our traffic is encrypted. Oh boy. One thing left I got to do is I gotta save this stuff. So where does it save the content to the connect to server? Okay, so set boolean. You just go because, you know, ability to just open. I do kind of want this to just be like you can open it up and immediately connect to the server. Short EDENTILs. Set boolean. Use TLS. Use TLS. Alright, so now I run this. I allow self inserts. I connect. It connects just fine. I close it. I reopen it. And they're both checked by default. Yay! And if I were to uncheck this and it fails to connect, it now won't do that. So, okay. It's nearing 3 hours. I think I'm done with this for the most part. I will probably just off stream make it print any error it gets, like right here on connect. And besides that, that's this. I'll push it up on GitHub. I'll maybe get a release. So yeah. Thank you all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the making of this thing. On Tuesday, when the remote management protocol becomes available for everyone to use on their up-to-date Minecraft servers, hopefully this is a valuable resource for anyone who wants to just play around with it, or maybe use it seriously. I don't know. I do other development things on this channel sometimes. Actually, in fact, I just released a video of me doing development stuff on my game on my second channel. That game is linked in the description. You can just find my second channel and watch that video if you want. But yeah, thanks for watching. You know, leave a like on the stream on the way out, like you do, and you all should do that. Subscribe, and I will see you all in the next stream.